Here's what nobody tells you about escaping poverty. It's not one thing, it's not one decision, one hustle, one promotion. It's 4 completely different phases, and each one feels like starting over from scratch. Each one has its own traps, its own mindset, its own way of destroying people who thought they were finally making it. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they hit stage 2 thinking they're already free. Or they make it to stage 3 and blow it in a way that sends them straight back to stage 1. I'm going to walk you through all 4 stages, what they actually feel like from the inside, what kills most people at each one, and what you have to do differently to actually move through them, because nobody warned me about this, and I think it cost me years. Let's get into it. Stage 1 is called survival mode, and if you've ever been here, you know exactly what it feels like. Every dollar is already spoken for before you earn it. Rent, electric, phone, food. You're not budgeting. You're rationing. You're not saving. You're just trying to not go negative before Friday. In survival mode, your brain physically cannot think long term. That's not a character flaw. That's neuroscience. When you're under that kind of constant financial stress, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that does planning and delayed gratification, it basically goes offline. You're running on your survival brain, fight, flight, and get through today. This is why telling broke people to just budget better is almost completely useless advice. You can't optimize your way out of a situation where there's not enough money to work with in the first place. You need more income, not a spreadsheet. The trap of stage 1 is that it normalizes itself. You start to think this is just how life is. You stop believing something different is possible. And that mental ceiling, not the money, becomes the real prison. What actually breaks you out of stage 1? Usually one of 3 things. You get a significant income increase, you eliminate a major expense, or you connect with someone, a person, a book, a video, who makes you believe your situation is not permanent. That belief is the real first step, not the money, the belief that you can move. But here's the warning. Stage 1. Survivors often carry survival mode thinking long after they've left survival mode. They hoard money out of fear. They can't spend on anything that feels like a risk. They sabotage opportunities because opportunity feels dangerous. That's a stage 1 mindset operating in a stage 2 life, and it will hold you back in ways you won't even recognize. Stage 2 is stability, and it feels incredible at first. You have a little breathing room, bills are getting paid on time, maybe you have a small emergency fund starting. You're not panicking every 2 weeks. You feel like you've made it. You haven't. Stage 2 is actually the most dangerous stage, and here's why. Stability is comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of growth. When you're no longer in crisis, the urgency disappears. And urgency was the thing that was forcing you to push. A lot of people park in stage 2 for decades. Stable job, modest apartment, nothing really wrong, nothing really moving either. The trap of stage 2 has a name. Lifestyle inflation. The moment things get easier, spending goes up to match. New car because you can afford the payment. Nicer apartment. More eating out. Subscriptions that stack up. Your income went up by 30%, and somehow your expenses followed it. The other trap of stage 2 is what I call the illusion of distance. You look back at where you came from, and it feels far away. You feel safe, so you stop doing the uncomfortable things that got you out. You stop taking risks. You stop pushing for the raise. You stop building. The people who make it through stage 2 have one thing in common. They keep living like they're in stage 1, even when they don't have to. Not forever, but long enough to build a real financial cushion, long enough to turn breathing room into leverage. The rule in stage 2 is simple. Every raise, every bonus, every extra dollar, half goes to building, half goes to living. Not all to lifestyle, not all to savings. Half and half. That discipline is what creates the runway for stage 3. There's also a social cost in stage 2 that nobody talks about. People around you, family, friends, people from the neighborhood, they start to see you differently. Some will celebrate you, others will resent you. Some will need things from you because you're now the one doing well. Learning how to navigate those relationships without either abandoning your people or being drained by them. That's one of the hardest parts of stage 2, and it barely ever gets discussed. Stage 3 is where things start to actually change. I call it mobility. Mobility means you have options. You're not just surviving. You're not just stable. You're building actual choices into your life. Maybe that's savings that could float you for 3 to 6 months if you lost your job. Maybe it's skills that make you highly hireable. Maybe it's a side income that's starting to matter. Maybe it's a small investment portfolio that's actually growing. Stage 3 is when compounding starts to work for you instead of against you. Because here's something they don't teach in school. Poverty compounds. Debt charges interest. Emergencies get paid on credit. Bad credit means higher rates on everything. Car loans, apartments, sometimes jobs. The system is literally designed to make being poor more expensive. Every dollar you don't have costs you more dollars. Wealth compounds too. Savings earn interest. Investments grow. A good credit score saves you tens of thousands over a lifetime. Owning appreciating assets builds net worth while you sleep. Stage 3 is when you start to cross from one kind of compounding to the other. And that's genuinely huge. But stage 3 has its own trap, and it's the most brutal one on this list. It's called visible success and invisible foundation. In stage 3, you start to look successful before you actually are. You have a nice apartment, a decent car, some money in the bank. People see you as someone who's made it, and you start to believe them. You start spending to match the image. You start saying yes to things because you can afford them right now, without thinking about whether they fit your long-term plan. This is how people end up making 6 figures and still broke. Not because they're stupid, because they hit stage 3, look successful, and stop treating money like it was serious. The other stage 3 killer is impatience. You're close enough to real wealth that waiting feels unbearable. So people take bad risks, throw money into things they don't understand because someone on social media made it look easy. Skip the boring steps, the index funds, the emergency fund, the slow equity, and try to shortcut to stage 4. Most shortcuts from stage 3 lead directly back to stage 1. What gets you through stage 3 is boring, uncomfortable discipline. You keep building the foundation that nobody else can see. You protect your downside before you chase upside. You understand that the goal in stage 3 isn't to look successful. It's to become stable enough that a single bad month can't reset everything. Stage 4 is what I call generational, and this is where the rules completely change. In stages 1 through 3, you're working for money. In stage 4, money starts working for you. And more importantly, what you build can extend beyond you. Generational doesn't mean you're rich. It means you've broken a cycle. It means the next person in your family, your kids, your younger siblings, your niece or nephew, starts on a different foundation than you did. That's the real definition of escaping poverty. Not a number in your bank account. A structural change in what the next generation inherits. Generational wealth isn't just financial. It's knowledge. It's network. It's the fact that your kid grows up watching how to handle money, watching adults who invest and plan and make calculated risks. They absorb things you had to fight to learn. That's a massive head start. But stage 4 has a trap too. It's called forgetting where you came from, in the wrong direction. Some people hit stage 4 and completely disconnect from their roots. They move away, change their circle, stop talking to family, become a different person. There's a version of that which is necessary and healthy, cutting off people who are genuinely dragging you down. But there's another version that's just abandonment dressed up as ambition, and it hollows people out. The other version is overcorrecting, feeling so much guilt about leaving people behind that you give away your security and fall back. You co-sign loans you can't afford to lose. You become the bank for everyone who asks. You confuse loyalty with financial self-destruction. Stage 4 requires you to have a real, clear answer to the question, what do I owe the people I came from? Not an emotional answer, a thoughtful one, with actual limits. Here's what I want you to take from this. Escaping poverty is not a single moment. It's not a breakthrough. It's a sequence of stages, each with its own rules, its own traps, and its own version of failure. Stage 1. You need belief before you need money. Break the ceiling in your head first. Stage 2. Stability is not the destination. Don't park here. Build the runway. Stage 3. Build the foundation nobody can see before you chase the success everybody can. Stage 4. Generational means you change what the next person inherits. That's the actual finish line. Figure out which stage you're in right now. Not which stage you want to be in, which one you're actually in. Because the mistake that kills most people is applying stage 3 thinking to a stage 1 situation. Or stage 2, complacency to a stage 3 opportunity. Know where you are. Know what that stage requires. Do that thing. That's it. If this hit different than the usual financial content you see, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want the breakdown on the specific moves to make at each stage, that video's coming next.